Good evening and welcome to obviously Sarko's main event that is Season 4 2019. It's the GT3, and I can tell you now what we're looking forward to this evening is, as you can see, race conditions a little bit overcast. You can see the lights are on this evening. Jake's just put on a nice time there. Turbo Charles, obviously top of the log here with a great 1 minute 38.926. So, what a start that has been. The qualification session is going to be quite a thing to watch this evening. As you can see, 5 minutes left in this session. So we're in Fuji in Japan at the moment. So obviously the guys are going to be just getting those cars out, getting those tires warmed up, and then they'll be out and doing their thing. So GT3, it is season number 4, 2019. It's been an exciting championship so far, not many incidents, so that's the good news. And I can tell you now, everybody out and about looking for some real traction on this track. It is a quickie, as you can see, looking down the main straight there. Lots of lights on at the moment with this mist. I think what we may do is rather go to actually on board with these guys, because it is a little bit difficult at the moment to see where they are on the track at the moment. So let's see if we can get that organized and get into a cockpit view and give you a little bit of an understanding of what they're up against. You can see the mist is really thick here this evening, and that's obviously going to be quite a challenge for these drivers. We're on board right now with Ross, who's put on an amazing time of 1 minute 40.018 at the moment. So just behind Turbo Charles as we're going along, and that's who we're watching at the moment. So, and a nice drive through the chicane. Looking to obviously try and get himself in pole position. I think that's where he's going to be, and it looks like Andrew's up there. Let me just see who that is. It might be Andrew. Yes, it is. It's Andrew who's done himself a bit of justice to get up into the 139.529s. So this evening it's going to be a little bit interesting for us. So we're going to be watching with great anticipation at the moment to see who's going to be where. Jazzman just also joined us. The green flag for him. It seems as though he's just had an invalid lap on this track at the moment, so he's going to be looking to ensure he changes things up at the moment. Hasn't put on a qualifying time, and neither has Dylan at the moment. So let's see what's going to be happening there. These engines are roaring through at the moment, getting themselves, there we go, nice time. Looks as though we've just had a disconnect. Unfortunately, Turbo Charles has been disconnected. He had already put on a 1 minute 38, so at the moment it looks as though it's an interesting little feat if he's going to get back into this, which I don't think he can at the moment, because we are already on a time of 1 minute 44 seconds left in the session. So it's going to be quite difficult for him to be coming back. This race is 23 laps with a mandatory pit stop, so there is that in play this evening, and we're going to see exactly how the guys are going to be handling this situation in Japan. Very overcast at the moment, a little bit of an overdrive over the curb at the moment from Andrew, but he seems to have got it back quite nicely. So yep, that is quite an interesting one. So there we go. Obviously out on the track at the moment, we've got Jacques racing at the moment. He is in the Lamborghini, looks like it. just ahead of him. Marius also doing quite nicely as well. In fourth position, Ross again looking for that opportunity just in front of him. It seems as though there we are with Jacques Racing. He's there, he's just pulling into the pits. As you can see, he's got to watch himself. There we go, nicely done. And then let's go. I think we got Mal at the moment. So Mal in the Bentley. It looks like it. He's in the Bentley, in the Deutsche Post Bentley at the moment. So he's going to be also wanting to make sure that he pushes himself at that log, up that log. Bruno in the familiar colors that he's normally racing in, and I tell you what, at the moment he is in, it looks like he's in the ATS Cadillac. Yep, he's in the Cadillac this evening. And Dylan comes back in a big way. He's in the Audi at the moment, the Thrustmaster Audi at the moment. So he's looking to do well this evening as well from the points aspect. But right on top is Jake's at the moment. He's also in a Thrustmaster at the moment. So it is the Thrustmaster Audi. Maybe we can just get a bit of a sideboard view, and you can see how the visibility on the track is actually quite difficult. They're just finishing off the practice at the moment. So as mentioned, 40 seconds to go. 14 guys on the track at the moment, so that's great news for us here. He's just popped into the garage as well, made himself comfortable there, and I can tell you now, here we go. 21 seconds, everybody. It looks like we've just had another DC disconnect there, so not too kind this evening. But as you can see, we have a number of these cars sitting on the grid at the moment. Jake's, Andrew, very nice. Jacques Racing, very nice from him this evening. And then Ross, Marius, Ronaldo, Mal, Dylan, Bruno, and then Ash. So we are now looking at 14 minutes of qualification rounds. So that's obviously going to do a big set of things for us this evening. And I can tell you now, the guys are driving out onto the track as quickly as possible to get themselves into a position where they can get out and try and get ahead of this bunch coming out of the pits at the moment. So we're on with Ronaldo at the moment as he comes out in that Audi. Whoop, a little bit sideways there. Not too clear what happened there, but obviously he's now back on the track racing. Andrew in the Porsche. He seems to be having a bit of fun in that Porsche this evening, so that's good there. Dupe, he is in the Bentley and looking to possibly win this race this evening. And there we go. Jazz back in, so that's good news from his perspective. Nice. Turbo Charles also back into this race, so we haven't lost them entirely. That's good news for us here at Sarko. And wow, what a day it's been so far, with a couple of disconnects, but I'm sure that's going to all come about in the right way. So as I said, South African racing community online, if you are interested in getting on board, this championship is sponsored by Thrustmaster. So thank you to them for all of the great support they're giving us, and also for getting involved with online racing in South Africa. That's good news for us. Looking through the grid at the moment, we have 15 contenders for this evening's race. As I mentioned, 12 minutes, just over 12 minutes to go. We are currently in Fiji, the GP track. That's where we are at the moment, so that's going to be really something to watch this evening. And I tell you what, if you are joining us via the live stream, thank you for joining us, and always great to have you on board with us, watching our stream as we take you through all the excitement that's happening here at SARCO, and always great to have you with us. So if you are joining us via the live stream, what do you think is going to be the time for pole position this evening? Who do you think is going to be running the gauntlet this evening? I can tell you now, lots of people looking to see who's going to be on top, and obviously that's great news for us. So just looking, come and give us a chat, and it's always great to have you with us here at SARCO. A little bit of good news for the guys that are watching the Formula One. Let me tell you what's happening in May. We're starting a new season, and it's club entries. So in other words, it's 4 drivers with 2 teams from each club. And I see already the sign-ups have started to happen. SARCO has now entered a 4-man team, 4 drivers, looking after 2 teams for the season coming up, and that's held on Sunday evenings. And I can tell you, all excitement brewing there, because it's going to be definitely a challenge for all of the guys at the moment. Also, if we look at what's continuing very soon from SARCO's perspective, last weekend we had our first international race of the year, and yeah, I think we're going to have some more of those, so that's going to be good news. I think Dylan's going to be sorting that out to make sure we have some competitors coming through the ranks, and obviously giving us an indication on what's taking place this year. All exciting stuff. So I'm sure there's going to be some news out there very soon of where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing at SARCO this particular year. And it sounds very good. If you're following us on Facebook, that's also a great opportunity to find out a little bit more about online racing console style. That is the PlayStation 4. So it's always well driven in South Africa. So you can get hold of us, get on board with us. I just want to go to Bruno at the moment. Very nice time from him at the moment in that Cadillac. He's done an exceptional time of 1 minute 38.187. Turbo Charles is hot on his footsteps, trying to get back into some style, so I'm sure he's going to be looking to see if he can get that time down. Oh, we've had 2 disconnects already, so that's unfortunate. I don't know why we're having these disconnects this evening. These DCs are not very nice, but it looks like Turbo Charles has also gone off now. After putting on that amazing time, it's 9 minutes. He still has some time to get himself back in here, so hopefully he can do so. Here's Dylan at the moment. Looks as though we've just had another disconnect, unfortunately. Marius back. He is driving in that Cadillac as well. So he's going to be wanting to put up an amazing time this evening as well. Jacques Racing. As we all know, he is definitely making that Lamborghini his own this evening. Then we've got Doopy. Yep, he's in the Bentley there. Mal in the other Bentley at the moment. Then we have Mr. Hugh Boucher at the moment. He is looking to do himself a bit of justice there, and he is in it. I'm not too sure what car that is at the moment. I'll have to check that out. Marshall, I think it is. Yes, it is Marshall. He is in the Lamborghini. Jake's down in that R8 at the moment, number 14. So we'll be looking to see what he's going to be doing. Ronaldo also in the Audi this evening, R8. And then now all of a sudden we can see very, very faintly in that mist, you can see that Lamborghini coming through. So of Ross at the moment. So let's see what he's going to be putting up. I think most of the guys during the practice round didn't indicate too much there, but there they are. So it looks as though most of the drivers have come back through, so that's good news. Turbo Charles has still quite to do something at the moment to get himself back into the top position here. Is he going to be able to do it? There is the car on the sidelines there at the moment. I'm hoping he's going to bring this car back to life. It looks as though it's going through the track at the moment. I hope that's not an indication of a disconnect at the moment. And it is, unfortunately. On the track with Jakes at the moment. He's up to 4th place at the moment. Bruno's put in a smashing time there of 1:37.925. It's a great time from him. Yeah, we've just got under 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and that will give us time just to see if we can see what's going on. Is Turbo Charles able to get back in? I don't think he can, and that's really unfortunate for this evening because he was doing so well. Here is Jazzman at the moment. Very nicely done from him. Jared trying to make sure he gets up into that top position at the moment. See if he can get that time down of his, where he is in the area to, oh, a little bit sliding wide there, lost it big time, but brings it back. I'm sure he's going to be wanting to give Bruno a bit of a headache this evening in that pole position, but we'll see how it goes. Jacques Racing, you can see he's done a 138.686, so he seems to be pretty comfortable where he is at the moment. Just under 1 minute to go, and then it's all done for this round here in Fiji. What are we looking for? We're looking for a clean track, and hopefully that's going to take control here, and we're looking to see that happen. So just to give you a quick overview this evening, yes, Bruno, and then Jacques, Racing, Jakes, Marius, Jazzman, Dupe, Ross, Dylan, Andrew, and Ronaldo in 10th position this evening. So big congrats to the top three. Unfortunately, obviously Turbo Charles disconnecting, DCing this evening, so that's unfortunate, but I'm sure they're going to come back in a big way. So we're about to start this race. As I said, one of 23 laps on the start at the moment. We're just waiting for the sync, the guys to ready up, make sure they are ready and going to be operating this evening, and then we're going to be watching what's going through their minds as they come down this first straight. It is a bit of a difficult one. As we know, we're in Fiji this evening, so I said Japan. I don't know why I said that, but obviously big error there. So you can you can laugh at that one a good thing to say at the moment. It is basically in Fiji at the moment, so we're going to watch these guys going through. So we're about to start this race. As you can see already, the guys are pulling away. It seems as though we have, you can see how bad it is out there. I think what we need to do is actually get on with these drivers at the moment, because wow, there is a bit of an incident on that first corner, unfortunately. As you can see, the guys dropping away. Bruno seems to have maintained his position on that top spot at the moment. You can see how close this racing is coming into that first sector, and here we go at the moment. You can see 1, 2, 3 drivers really close and packing up and getting themselves into a position to look for an opportunity to get past there. We're on board with Marius at the moment to see him in that Cadillac going through there. You can see just in front of him how bad that side is for these guys, and it is really difficult for these guys to actually have that visual working. As you can see, when the camera comes down, we're able to see it. It was going a little bit wide there. I think that was Jakes who's got himself down into 4th position at the moment, which has given Marius the opportunity to go through there. So at the moment, Bruno leading this race, followed by Jazzman, and then Marius in 6th position. So great driving from these top 4 at the moment. Jacques Racing, it looks as though there is a penalty being given, but now let's go on board with Jacques Racing at the moment. He's in the Lamborghini looking for an opportunity to see if he can catch Jakes in that R8 Thrustmaster at the moment, and I can tell you now it's going to be quite an exciting session that we're watching as this Lamborghini comes through. Here's the start and finish. As I mentioned, it is 23 laps of racing we're going to be seeing here, and obviously watching as these guys get themselves into an area to get past. What we're going to do now is just put on to all at the moment, so we give you some indication. We're on with with Jacques Racing at the moment to see where he's coming from. As you can see just in front of him, those 3 cars which he needs to get. He's getting up close on Jakes at the moment. You can see it's going to be a really push and a shove for him at the moment, because he needs to get past in order to get that 4th position and then work his way up into the top spot this evening. He was quite quick during the qualification and the practice round, so I'm sure he's going to be wanting to do something quite extraordinary here this evening. We can just go on board with Jakes at the moment. You can see where he is. He's going to be looking quite closely at Marius and see if Marius is going to be making a mistake. We move up with Marius at the moment in that Cadillac, and you can see in that 185 Cadillac, and then his teammate at the moment leading this race, and he is in the 186 Cadillac at the moment. Jazz right behind him at the moment, seeing if he can possibly get an opportunity in that Lamborghini. So yeah, he's in, I think it was 64 or 63. So he's going to be looking to get himself into a prominent position to take Bruno over at the moment. So he'll be looking for what he can do at any point in time during this race to see if he can do that. So I believe there was something wrong with the mic, but I'm back now, so that's great news. Obviously, we've been watching 13 laps. Bruno is in first position. His quickest lap at the moment is a 1:39.614. Followed by Jazzman at the moment is in second position. Then Marius. We have obviously Andrew there as well as Mal. And then nicely positioned himself is Hugh Boucher at the moment. And that's EHB. So very nice from him at the moment. Then we've got Jacques Racing. He's out there as well. We've got Ross Dillon in ninth position. And then pitting at the moment is VL4. So that's an interesting one there. I think it's Marshall is the individual's name. And then we got Dupe. And then we have Ronaldo. He is in 12th position at the moment. So 13 laps done, 10 laps to go in this session, and then we are all done and dusted. So into 14 at the moment. You can see the split there pretty close by, but you can see that Bruno is catching up on the back-enders at the moment. So two guys in the pits at the moment, and you can see there Jakes has left. Jakes has joined the session, so I don't know what's going on this evening. We've had quite a few DCs at the moment, and that's not good for this event at the moment. So as mentioned, this is hot racing going on at the moment. You can see that Cadillac is definitely showing its superiority at the moment, and you can see just being overtaken now. Jazzman looks to be a little way off at the moment, so I'm not too sure. Or that is actually, I'm not too sure who that is. Well, it says Jazzman is 10 seconds behind Bruno, so it is actually, oh, I see. Humble apologies there. I can see exactly what's going on. I wasn't too sure for a second because obviously Jazzman is driving a similar car to the car that's just been passed as well. So I think a little bit of confusion at that precise second. But it looks as though, yes, it is a Lamborghini that Jazzman is driving at the moment. So all endeavors to him at the moment. You can see in the other Cadillac at the moment, it is Marius. He seems to be doing quite nicely there, getting himself in a prompt position. And then in that wonderful little Porsche at the moment, you can see Andrew in fourth position. So doing very nicely for himself there as well. Shark Racing, he is on lap number 14 in fifth position. So it looks like Jazzman has just gone into the pits. He is falling wide the wayside at the moment. You can see Jacques Racing is coming up on that pit lane. So we'll see exactly what's happening with him at the moment, as he also will most likely take Jazzman also. But we'll see if that actually occurs, because there was a little bit of time in the pits at the moment. I think Jazzman took on a little bit of damage there. You can see just behind him is Ross at the moment. And then in seventh position now in that Thrustmaster R8 is Dylan, and he is seventh position at the moment. So Mal in the Bentley. He's in the Deutsche Post vehicle, which is the Bentley at the moment. You can see him coming through in eighth position at the moment. Roland, obviously he's down in ninth position. So I think it was actually Roland who was actually lapped by Bruno. And then we got Dupe. Dupe is in the other Bentley at the moment, and he seems to be quite comfortable in that Bentley. A little bit wide there. I think he lost his way a little bit there, so that was an interesting one. And then deep down, right towards the end, you can see at the moment, here comes flashing past. I think that is definitely an interesting one to watch. I'm not too sure who that was. But I'm going to go and have a look now to see if that was not interesting move here at the moment. So that is pretty close. There we go, an overtake there. You can see that Bentley is a bit bashed up in the front there. You can see how hot and how close this is between these three drivers coming right down the straight start and finish now. And he's obviously trying to get through at this point in time, which he does do so. So is he able to come back in a big way? Oh, it looks as though he's lost it there. He's gone right across the front section. And that's not a good show from Dupe there. I don't know what happened. All the tires must have locked up there, which meant that there was an incident that took place there. But here we go, back on board with Boucher at the moment. Hugh Boucher, he looks to be in 10th position at the moment. Roland, he is coming over the start and finish side at the moment. So lap number 16 already taking place. And as you can see there, Mal is doing his set piece at the moment and coming through in a wonderful position in that Bentley, that 38 Deutsche Bentley at the moment. Dylan back in 7th position. Here we go. Now it is Ross in car number 158 at the moment in that Lamborghini. Looks to be shifting himself quite comfortably around this track in 6th position at the moment. And then we have Jacques Racing. He is in the other Lamborghini this evening. That is 157. So he's doing quite nicely for himself there as he's coming through. Jake seems to be now down into 4th position. And I think he's trying to make a comeback on Andrew at the moment, who is in that little Porsche. It's quite a nice little car there, a Thrustmaster Porsche, doing exceptionally well in 3rd position. Then we have Marius, as he comes past at the moment. There was a lot of gap given to him by Hugh Boucher at the moment, so he is coming through very nicely in car number 185. Bruno done exceptionally well in that, he's in that Cadillac 168, so he's in top position this evening. You can see him catching one of the other back markers at the moment, so he's in on lap number 18, so a little bit slower this time around. So I think he might just make sure that he is in a good space and keeping himself in the right position. And being the leader of this race at the moment, I'm sure he's pretty comfortable. So you can see Bruno coming up quite quickly on another back marker, coming through start and finish at the moment. So looking to see if he can keep this car nice and straight, get into that slipstream, and then come past the Deutsche Bentley at the moment. And here we go. Nicely done from his side. A little bit of gap given to him. So he's now obviously taken another back marker in this particular session. So you can see we started off quite with a lot of overcast and a lot of mist, and now we're into the deep sunshine. So going exceptionally well, and you can see almost this U, inverted U, and then it's going to go straight into a very nice long straight that everybody can obviously pick up some time on, which is coming up in the next couple of seconds. So here we go, back, pushing it through here. Now we're going to go also right again, and then left, tucking it in. So before Jakes got disconnected, he obviously put on a 1:38.692, the fastest lap. Just putting on the speedometer or speedo. Let's have a look at those times just quickly. So officially Bruno taking control, complete control of this race this evening. Then Marius, then Andrew in that little Porsche doing very nicely there. Jasmine's got a 4-second penalty at this point in time, so that's not too good for him. Jake's racing in 5th position, Ross in 6th. You've got Dylan now in 7th position, Mal in 8th, Ronaldo in 9th, and then you've got Hugh Boucher in 10th. Oh, that's not good. Just trying to take the timing off. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. But obviously to bring it back so you can see this driver, Bruno, really dominating this race this evening and really giving us all. Looks like Andrew's gone into the pits now. He's dropped down 2, which has given Dylan now. And you can see how close Dylan is actually behind Ross at the moment. It looks like a bit of tug and war happening at the moment. So it seems as though they are doing or looking for that opportunity to get by. So Dylan really pushing as hard as he can. He definitely, Bruno has just gone into the pits at the moment, which is giving Marius that time he needs to catch up now. Down to 21 seconds. Let's see what's happening. He's coming out of the pits now. Where's Marius? Marius is going into the pits now. So there you go. Dylan's out of the pits. He still remains in 1st position. So it just shows you how he's dominated this race this evening. And now you can see Jazzman coming down the pits. He's going to go in. Where's Marius at the moment? Is Marius, he's still in the pits, he's now coming out. So Marius in pit lane, taking obviously under speed restraint at the moment to get past. He's going to now sort of open it up, but this has given Jazzman an opportunity to come through, which he has done, which has put him into 2nd position. Does he have 14 seconds to catch up? That's the whole remedy. This is almost the last lap of this race. One more after this, and we're done. So clear strategy from Bruno. Almost second last lap to just put it in there, get what he needed done, and then obviously go out now and see if he can get through the rest of this race in an orderly manner to take this particular championship here in Fiji this evening. And I tell you what a drive he's had. Exceptional drive, done very, very well for himself as we are almost going into the last lap of this race. Bruno, and maybe we should actually go out onto the side here and see what it looks like trackside as he comes through now for the last lap of this race. Done exceptionally well, come through and dominated absolutely in every aspect this evening. So as we stay on board with Bruno this evening, he's done very, very well. Already mentioned, he's actually dominated this race completely in that Cadillac, and really I think he's got smiling ear to ear at the moment as he is about to win this particular event this evening. You can see the flashing lights, obviously well impressed with his drive this evening, and he's done very, very well. You can see those lights flashing. He's ecstatic. 15 seconds behind him now is Jazzman. So there's just no ways he can catch up those 15 seconds unless there's something goes absolutely drastically wrong, and or Bruno is not able to finish this race. As you can see, he's almost coming through start and finish at the moment. There is the pit lane area. I'm just trying to fathom out where I am this evening. Yep, there we go. And then straight through start and finish, and wins the race this evening. So the race is completed. And let's see if I can give you some more information in this regard. So if I go to the timings, it is Bruno. Jazzman loses 4 seconds. Does that affect his overall position at the moment? I very much doubt it. He will be finishing in second position. Marius in third, because of even with the time penalty, he remains in third. He doesn't move up to second position. And then Jacques Racing in fourth. We have Ross in fifth. We have Dylan in sixth. We have Andrew in seventh. Mal in eighth. Ninth is Ronaldo. 10th is Hugh Boucher. And in 11th position, we have Marshall. So very, very nicely done by the drivers this evening. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and what a great